Good day to all of my emperors and empresses, gods and goddesses, kings and queens, princesses and princesses. Last but never least, we got the bitches and the bitchettes. And I will never forget about the bitches and bitchettes. Why? Because it's levels to the bullshit, silly. Now, anything you would like to know about me is in the description box below. Pisces, I'm coming to y'all on today with a message, short and sweet. Now, I know a lot of y'all been asking me questions. Call the police, different type of things. Now, listen, Pisces, you know damn well if I call the police, they gonna put my ass in jail instead of the facility. No, that is not how you go about handling things. Look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. I know a lot of y'all are concerned and worried. Now, if there's any resources that you can give me that I can work on here in myself, then I will surely do that. But if you can assist in any kind of way with your resources, it's greatly appreciated. Um, Today it was just the energy of simply keep going because people are trying to stop you in the tracks and what you're going in, and also an energy of distraction. Don't be distracted by things thrown your way, and you can tell what it is. 1:44 on the clock, I just seen that, and 10:10 has been in my face as well. So I'm still here, still experiencing the hostageness, because that's exactly what it feels like. I'm being held hostage. Now, one minute they're saying they're discharging, the next minute they're saying that they're trying to move me to an inpatient clinic. Inpatient clinic is something that they basically trying to strip me from all of my phone and shit like that. Now, with my daughter, um, feeding her has become more difficult for the simple fact now she's off the breathing, and she is not dealing with the tube down her esophagus, I should say. She's not dealing with that anymore. And but they won't allow me to feed her from the breast. Now, like I was telling y'all, I actually was here originally on August 24th. So being here on August 24th, I was 3 centimeters dilated. They sent me away because I wasn't like my cervix was staying at 3 centimeters. So being 3 centimeters dilated, 7 days later, which was August 31st. One moment. Yes. Oh, Grand Rising, Miss. Thank you. You could just place it right over there. You could take that other tray if you like. Thank you. Love and guidance to you. You have a prosperous day. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So, um, damn, I forgot where I left off. Okay, being 3 centimeters dilated, August the 31st, I returned. 3:50 on the timer. August 31st, I returned. And when I returned, I was damn near ready to have her. Like I was telling y'all the other night, I was having contractions. I drove here by myself, and I believe my car is still outside. But I do also have a patch in my car. Like somebody put a patch there. I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you. But it's just the car, right? But it's mine, okay? But anyway, stay on track. I was having contractions upon arrival. So when I got in here, I could barely. They wanted me to sit in a wheelchair, but I couldn't really sit in a wheelchair. Wheelchair was too low, so I told them that I had to walk. So I did walk, and so from that point, I might have from the lobby. I ended up on my knees to just um, like calm some of the pain down, which it did. Being on your knees is very beneficial when you're having a child, like for real, that's the first time I ever dealt with that. But anywho's, so from the lobby going up to triage, I had to sign in and everything. So signing in, I was even having contractions then, but the lady understood. She said, okay, just have your contractions. You can sign and everything once. So she let me. I did that. Then I had to go to the bathroom. I had to do number 2, actually, and number 1. So when I told the lady that I had to use the restroom, she told me to go to room 3. And once again, I'm saying I'm at Hutzel Hospital, Detroit, Michigan. So going into the bathroom, I did number 2. They was trying to hurry up, and I think they wanted me to take a piss test or something like that. And I'm like, damn, if I can, but I ain't trying to catch no piss, not for real, because I'm in pain. I'm in these contraction pains, so taking a piss test is not on the top of the list, at least for I. It wasn't on the top of the list for me. So going in the bathroom, using the bathroom, number 1 and number 2, getting off, still contracting. I'm still contracting at this time. So leaving out of the bathroom, I automatically just on the table, I pull that thing out, that little drawer thing at the bottom of the table. I pull that out and get on my knees because, like I said, being on my knees the pain wasn't as strong when I was on my knees. So when I'm getting on my knees, another contraction come, I'm just like just breathing through. But these feel different. They're not as strong. And remember, I told y'all this is my 6th child, so it was a bit different this time. So being on my knees, contracting, I had one big contraction before the lady came up in there. And when the lady came up in there, I was contracting again. She said, get on the table, get on the table, get on the table. I said, I couldn't even really hear it because the neck contraction was the most strongest contraction, which was Belliana was ready to come on out. So I wasn't even paying that lady any mind because those contractions were stronger than her voice at that time. So Belliana burst on out. My water broke as well during this time. So her head came out. They were still trying to tell me to get on the fucking table. Okay? Even though her head came out. Okay? So, that was just her head and her shoulders hadn't came out yet. So, the lady was behind me and then one more push and boom, their Belliana was coming on out. So they caught her. It was at least 3 caucus ladies up in that room, maybe even 4. So, they was like, okay, they brought in the stretcher. So bringing in the stretcher, they asked me, get on the stretcher. So I'm like, okay, help me. I'm like, help me. And they're like, we can't help you and the baby. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then this is me pulling up my strength to get up, fortifying my soul up in this beach. I had to, because they wasn't about to help me. So I had to get myself up in this beach. While they was just focused on Belliana, that I can't even tell you, but glory be the Most High anyhow. So they did not cut that umbilical cord. And something is telling me they wasn't even used to any mother or woman having their baby on their knees. Because, I ain't see their faces, but them bitches was shocked, okay? I was shocked, all right? So, I got on the table. They said, hurry up and get on the table so we can put her on your chest. That's what they said. And so, when they said, hurry up, put her on the table. Put her on your chest. I put her on my chest. She was breathing just fine, but she did mecolium inside of me as well. They call it mecolium. She boo-booed, I boo-booed. So as I was even having her, I boo-booed too. Again, but it was more of a Milky Way. Anywho's. So anyway, when they put her on top of me, she was breathing just fine, but they said she had swallowed some of the mecolium. That's what they said. Some of her boo-boo she had swallowed. That's what they told me anyway. That's what they were telling me. I don't know if she did or didn't. But They hurried up, got in there, and made sure they cut that damn umbilical cord, if anything else. So they hurried up, cut the umbilical cord, took her into the next room, and began to use that blue sectioner to section her mouth out. And so I'm just looking, and they like, put on your mask, and I'm like, what? What the fuck? But surely I put on my mask. Not one of that came up missing, by the way. So now I'm out of a mask. But long story short, they took me to the room to which I would have been in to have her, the labor and delivery room. They took me in that room. And while taking me in that specific room, they began to tell me to push out the placenta. Pushing out the placenta. Then they wanted, I was uncovered at the time, so I felt very uncomfortable because there were two dudes there, and it just seems like they was just fondling me with their eyes. But I asked them for something, and then they gave me something to cover myself. Then they proceeded to say that I was so-called bleeding heavily, which I wasn't. I didn't even tear. I barely tore because of the position that I was in. If anybody missed the position that I was in, I said I was on my knees when I had her. So being in that room, they wanted to stick their fingers in me again after having a baby. Even when I had my daughters, I don't remember them doing that. But they said they had to stick their fingers in me for some odd reason to see if things were removed or this or that, whatever the case was. We'll see if that's the procedure following up after this. We'll see if that was one of the procedures. But anywho's, he proceeded, him and the other man proceeded to check. Both of them were male Caucasus, I believe, by the way. Both of them were male, and checking for whatever the fuck they were checking for. Then the nurse lady proceeded to tell me that they were going to give me an IV of, which it was supposed to be an IV and something to draw blood also. But down the line, it turned out not being an IV for them to draw the blood from, even though I'm quite sure when they put that thing in your hand or your arm, that they're able to draw blood also. But they was telling me, oh, we can't draw blood from the same thing that you're IVing from, which I know for a fact that was done to me before. But they proceeded to tell me that they were going to give me some synthetic something, codeine, something of the sort to stop the bleeding, which is another baffling thing to me, because a woman is supposed to bleed after she has her child or children. So after that, we proceeded to, I laid there. I was asking about my daughter. How was she doing? They said I was not going to be able to see her until we had the COVID swab done. If I didn't get it done, I couldn't see her. I denied. I said, I don't want that. I said I didn't want it, because she should have been able to come right back to me after that. But I'm just going to proceed with the story. So then I denied that. I said, well, I'll be able to see her, so it's really no point in me even getting that. Even so, it was no point. So then after that, I kept asking how she's doing. They said she was doing fine. They came, and then I had to use the restroom, which it felt very good, by the way. I moaned and everything. It felt very good to release that urine. It felt too good. I'm actually like going back because that's how good it felt. But okay, after that, I used the urine. They got me together, washed me up. Well, I washed me up because they tried to wash me up, but I'm like, I can wash myself up. I ain't handicapped up in this beach. But anyway, washed myself up, put on the stuff. They proceeded to put me in another room. So when they put me in another room, I was like, okay, what about my daughter? I'm asking about my daughter. Nobody really telling me nothing at this point. And they said, well, would you like pictures? And I'm like, oh, okay. Because they said at this point, okay, they did say, we're trying to get it stabilized. We're trying to get her breathing stabilized. So, okay. All right. And I was like, okay. So they was like, okay, we can send you pictures. But they never sent me pictures. I gave them my number and everything. They never sent me pictures. I spoke to a caucus physician. He never even sent me the pictures either. So long story short, I finally got the COVID because I felt like they was playing with me a little bit. So I got the COVID. The lady came in here. I'm going to call her an Indian lady because that's what she was. She came up in here and she said, we have to do the test. I said, okay, we have to do the test. Do the test. She pulled it out. She said, I'm just going to do one nostril. So she proceeded to do my right nostril. She did the right nostril. Boom, boom. And I was like, okay. Like, oh, that tickles. Okay. She said, normally we do both of them. I said, okay. But she said, I'm just going to do one. I said, all right. So then she leaves, comes back. When she comes back, she said, oh, they're not accepting that. You got to get both of them done. I said, okay, ma'am. Now you didn't, if you would have just told me, which she said normally both of them have to get done, but she plays stupid like she don't do these procedures. So even if I'm saying like, oh, okay, just do one, which I didn't say just do one. She said she just gonna do one. Then she tried to come back in here and do me again. But not only in this, the left one is the only one she didn't do. So she wanted to do the right one again and the left one. So I said, okay, ma'am, if you know you're supposed to do something, then it doesn't even matter what I say. Do what need to be done so you don't have to keep doing it again. That's what I told her. So she was like, yeah, but you was, no, it don't matter what I was saying. If you know you got a job, 17, if you know you got a so-called job that you got to do and nobody can't tell you and you know for a fact you got to do both nostrils, then do both nostrils. Why the fuck you about to play with my nose like that? But anyway, she proceeded to do the nostril again, which at this point, this one was pretty tender for the simple fact she already hit the right one up. So then, after that, I did that at 3 o'clock on August the 31st. Same day she was born at 6:05 a.m. in the morning. In the sunrise, I should say. Now, doing that at 3, nobody came back to me. They said that the hour takes up to 3 hours. The test takes up to 3 hours to better say whether I'm positive or negative. Nobody came to me and hit me up and told me, hey, test is positive. Hey, test is negative. No one said that. So the Indian lady that did the COVID on me came when it was time for her to leave at 8 o'clock. I said, ma'am, what happened to the test? She said, oh, just ask your next nurse. Very unconcerned. Very unconcerned. So, haven't heard anything from the doctors or anything about Belliana. At this time, I haven't named her yet. About Belliana. She went home. The next nurse didn't mention anything either. So then, their procedures with the doing the blood pressure, they make sure they on that. Like crack just came back. They make sure they on that. The blood pressures and the temperatures and all that stuff. And checking my doctor's, whatever these little panties called, checking my panties and my stomach to make sure it went back in place. So after that, I was in this room alone. So a psychiatrist came and basically what happened in 2017 is basically haunting me to this day, 5 years later. with my daughter. Now, if y'all want to know what happened in 2017, you're going to have to go back to those videos that I've done already. I believe it's called If You Want to Know What Happened to Me in 2017. And you can better pick up the pieces. I can't go through that whole story now and then this story as well. Now, she came in here and basically asked me questions about my daughter, about what happened in 2000. Just seen 2017, so I'm hitting on something. And my daughter, and if I had everything for my child. This is a caucus lady, by the way. So the caucus lady asking me all these questions, and she left. And she said she was going to call because I had 4 of my daughters here already. So this will be the 5th child I had here, my 5th daughter. So, glory be to Most High. Barakatu. Now, after she left, I don't know what she written down, what she did, but she did seem a little bit irritated when she left because I gave her the love and guidances and everything, but she did seem a little antsy. I won't tell no lies. Now, she left, and I don't know what happened, but when she left, but she had people to come and sit with I. Now, people been sitting with me ever since August. No. Take it back, Anna. I'm gonna say September the 1st. They've been sitting in the room, but I'd never known what they were sitting for. I was just like, damn, I know there's people coming in here. They got different people coming in here and sit with me, but I'm like, what is y'all here for? Like, why are y'all here? What's the point of y'all being here, sitting in this room with me? Invading my space and privacy, may I add. Just had a child, you know. Shouldn't my child be in here with me? Shouldn't my child be sitting with me? But no, they didn't have it that way. They got different people watching me, like I'm a child, as a matter of fact. After that, I'm like, what is y'all here for? What is y'all here for? Nobody could tell me. They just like, oh, I'm just doing my job. I'm doing my job, basically. So I finally seen the lady maybe a day after. I'm like, man, what's up with this? Like, why you got these people sitting with me? Long story short. And she like, this is observation, evaluation. I said, oh, okay. So what exactly put up the red flags? Like, why exactly do you have these people evaluating me, observing me, observing me? And she like, there was some, questions, something like you first off you refuse to get on the table. You refuse to get on the triage table. I said, ma'am, I explained the story in which I explained to y'all. I was 3 centimeters dilated 7 days before, and I was in pain. I was actually having a child. Like, how can I jump up on the table? And like, how could I jump on the table when I'm having the child? Like, yeah, and you refuse the COVID test. I'm like, and I have every right to refuse the COVID test. I didn't want it. It's not something that, yeah, but that just arose that basically I need to be evaluated again, because now I'm going to hit y'all up with this. In 2017, they had, falsely accused me, but that's neither here nor there. They had diagnosed me with bipolar schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever, whichever one they gave me, they hit me up with both of them. So, I believe it was both. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so she was like, yeah, we're just going to transfer you to the inpatient, my apologies, inpatient clinic. And I said, ma'am, why for? I said, I'm not, I didn't come here for that. Basically, that's what I told her. I said, I didn't come here for that. I came here to have my child and be gone. And I did tell her ass, only the truth matters. And she really stormed out of here on that beach. And I told that beach, love and guidance up in this beach. And she didn't even say it back. But before she said it back, but whatever. I ain't tripping about that. So, anywho's, After she stormed out of here like a 2-year-old. They still have someone watching me. Like I said, I've been here since August the 31st. Really not getting any answers. Now they're even refusing, because the first day and a half, they didn't give Belliana anything to eat or nothing. So when I finally went down there to see her, she like lips dry as fuck, may I add, creases in every single pocket. And she like pinching, like, mommy, give me some milk. So I'm like, oh, Belliana, they putting us both in a bad state right now. I hope you can see that through the Most High. So they didn't give her nothing, because now they saying that her blood is thick. I'm like, how the fuck did y'all determine this? I mean, y'all didn't ask me. You said her blood thick? Oh, okay. Y'all didn't say any. I didn't hear nothing. I don't know what y'all. I don't trust nothing y'all saying. I don't believe nothing y'all saying. Because everything, how y'all handled the situation. So you could be telling me anything. You could be literally telling me anything, and I'm supposed to believe what y'all say. I don't trust. I don't believe. You know what? You shouldn't have came here. Oh, okay. Well, I did, and I don't give a fuck if I came here or somewhere else. Like, you don't treat people like that, because what goes around comes around, and it stings like a motherfucker. So anyway, they didn't let her get nothing, and then they told me, okay, now after that they finally let her eat. I'm on the second floor, I believe. She's on the third floor. So I have to travel to even go see her to breastfeed her. Now, they're even making it difficult for that. They won't allow me to breastfeed her. And yesterday, I mean, I'm really skipping through, because like I said, I've been here for 8 days and I've been dealing with fuckery glory be to Most High, confirmation. I've been dealing with fuckery every single day I've been here. If it wasn't that she couldn't eat, finally she can't eat, they giving her Similac. I don't want her to have Similac. I want her to have my breast. I'm the source of her. I've been with the child, and she been with I in my womb for the last 9.5 months. So, and then I had this little Becky chick. I'm gonna call her Becky, but she's a caucus as well. She tried to come in between me feeding my daughter and telling me to give her a bottle. Okay, so caucus Becky, she as I'm feeding my daughter, she's telling me, oh basically, stop what you're doing, we're going to give her this bottle. I said, what? I said, that's what I'm here for. She said, yeah, but we just want to make sure she's getting enough. It went from they didn't feed her shit within the first day and a half. Now you want to make sure she's getting enough? Okay. My daughter was asleep at this time because she had gotten fed from my breast for 8 minutes. So feeding from me for 8 minutes, she wanted to rest. Then Becky Caucus decided to say, bring it back to me, Wander. Please bring it back to me. Whew. Yeah, because this particular part gets me a little antsy inside. I'm not going to hold you up. But glory be the Most High that I have strength enough to tell this. Because some people out there, they be afraid of these caucus like they the rulers. They are not the rulers. They want to be the rulers. But they'll see in the end. Glory be to the Most High. Confirmation. Damn. So I asked the caucus lady. I said, do you have any children? She said, no. I just been playing with Barbie dolls my whole life. She didn't say that, but she didn't have to. She said, no, but I've been here and it's like I'm a mother, right? I take care of all these children and everything. It's like I'm a mother. I said, no, it's not, because you never physically push one out yourself. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. Oh, no, I'm not even. No, she didn't even say that. She said, you know what? I'm just going to get someone above me. You know, I think I even asked her to get someone that's above her. So she bring another blue-eyed caucus man to better explain why I should be giving her Similac, which is called Similac. So something is lacking in that milk. But with she's getting everything that she needs. Like I said, I've been with the child and she been with for the last 9.5 months. Can't no Becky Caucus tell me how to feed my child, what to feed my child, and how I should be doing with our children. Energy of you need to speak up when it comes to people trying to tell you what to do with your children, because they can't tell you what to do with your children because those are your children. You're raising those children. Now, if they want to give up some dividends, then still, you just giving up dividends, but you're still not going to tell me what to do with my children. At the end of the day, I had to carry that child. I had to feed that child. I had to carry that child. I felt all those pains. Becky Caucus did not feel not one of those pains. Therefore, she cannot tell I what to do when it comes to feeding my daughter, and not only that, just caring for my daughter. Anywho's, she went to get the caucus man, which tried to convince me, oh yes, just the milk. And I've said she's resting. They told me to rattle her up, shake her up so she can wake up. I said, oh, so you want me to rattle her? This is another thing. That's what y'all do with y'all children. You rattle them motherfuckers up. I don't rattle. That's something I don't do. If they're resting, you let them rest. But I also look his caucus blue eyes in the eyes, and I told him only the truth matters as well. Another thing, and the lies will fall. And another thing, they come in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, to tell me, and this time they sent the sister up in here. So, sending this beach up in here, she gonna say, Anastasia. They knock on the door real hard. This grand rising, it was a caucus tall man, but yesterday's grand rising, it was a sister, and the sister come up in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she like, oh, rewind. We gonna go back to this ultrasound room. Now, I put my daughter umbilical cord was infected. And I'm like, Becky Caucus, because this is the same woman that tried to tell me about, but she ain't taking care. That's what I mean. She been taking care of Barbie dolls, because if she was taking care of a real child, a human, she would know that the umbilical cord was infected. She said, oh, it's not infected. And she tried to push it back in, y'all, paste it back together. I said, Becky, I said, miss, you can't do that. I said, you can't just push that in, and look, she's flinching. You're hurting her. She like, oh no, it's just wet. It just gotta be. I know an infected umbilical cord when I see one. I have 6. I said, miss, I got 6 children. Oh, this is when she said, oh, I'm not gonna argue with you. I said, miss, this is not up for arguing. I want the best thing for my child. What are you talking about? Arguing? You're not even worth the A in argument. So you know you're not worth the rest of the fucking letters in argument. Come on, Beach. I said, and that's when I asked her again to speak to somebody ahead of her, because the lady actually told me, it was a melanated lady the day before. She told me, oh yes, she can feed. You can feed her from your breast, but they've been trying to hit me with their best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Oh, emphasis on the movie Shrek, Donkey, and Eddie Murphy up in this beach. 333. Now, they've been trying to feed her before I can get to her. So now I'm playing Russian roulette with my titties. Imagine that. So, where was I? Let's fast forward to where was I just? Oh, the sister coming up in here at 4 o'clock in the morning. So she coming up in here 4 o'clock in the morning to tell me in the grand rising, because nobody's mourning here. And if anybody's mourning, it's that beach. And if she ain't mourning now, she sure in the hell will be. Now, anywho's, she come up in here and say, oh, yes, we're just waiting for, and that's a little suspicious to me. We're just waiting to clear out. We're just waiting to get you a bed to go to the inpatient. So if y'all don't hear from me for a while, it's because these beaches then tried to take me somewhere that I ain't familiar, but now I'm really unfamiliar. And like I said, they trying to take my phone and everything from me. So a beach can't stay in contact to where she need to be in contact to, or whatever. Now, I'm like, miss, I'm like, why is y'all coming in here 4 o'clock in the morning to tell me, or 4 o'clock in the Grand Rising to tell me that you're moving me to an inpatient clinic? And I'm like, how would I feed my daughter? Oh, well, you can get a pump. I said, no, I can't, miss. I can't get a pump. She's going to be placed on me. That's how it goes. Oh, okay. She said, well, we're just going to move you to the inpatient clinic and you will still. I said, no, you're not, miss. I said, you're going to discharge me. You brought those midwives in here and, okay. You brought those midwives in here to tell me that I would be discharged and told me I was going to be discharged. And she said to me, oh, that was a mistake. We didn't mean to do that. Why them same motherfucking midwives came up in this beach today? What's today? September the 6th. So when they came up in here, I was in the bathroom. And being in the bathroom, they're like, oh, we the midwives. I said, oh, y'all show y'all in the right room? This is Anastasia. Yes, Miss Jackson, we're in the right room. I said, oh, are you sure? Because the lady told me that y'all made a mistake to come up in here to tell me about the discharge and also to tell me about whatever the fuck y'all telling me. And so these bitches come up in here trying to play with me. They're like, yes, Miss Jackson. Oh, yes, we were talking about. I said, oh, Miss Nicole. I said, she said, yeah, it's Miss Nicole. The 2 caucus ladies come up in here like, oh, yes, like, oh, you look so good. Oh, are you bleeding? They asking me the same fucking question. Do you have any suicidal thoughts? Are you mood swinging? Are you still bleeding? Is the blood coming out right? I said, well, ma'am, I just had a whole child, so the blood is not just going to stop. Oh, can I check your belly? They getting a fucking field day off of checking my damn belly. I said, hold up, we ain't doing this shit no more. I said, no, you may not. She said, yeah, we just want to make sure everything right. I said, yeah, I feel all on myself, baby. Look, I'm feeling on myself now. I basically just started giving myself a whole fill up right in front of her. So she like, oh, well, we just want to make sure everything is right. And that you going back into the form that you're supposed to be back into. I said, well, if I was gone 5 days ago, you wouldn't be able to check. And she said, yeah, I guess you're right. And I was like, yeah, she said, this is a safe place. I said, well, you're not the one laying in the bed, are you? So don't fucking tell me it's a safe place, beach, until you walked in the shoes that I have walked in. You can't say nothing is safe. We ain't gonna have the same experience. You know you got that privilege on you. Okay? Now, after that, today is basically leading up to today. It's a whole bunch of other shit. I can't even really get into. They make your food God knows where, so you can't trust a soul up in this beach, Pisces. Also, I just want to get into emphasis on, I had an energy, don't trust your mother, okay? I don't know who that's for out there. Don't trust her. Can't pick her up as far as you can throw her. And not only her, there's other motherfuckers around you too that you should not trust. But your intuition should tell you that. Also, Pisces, I had a dream. I don't know who this is for either. But your lover boy, Mr. Lover, he's up he's up 3838. He is under some type of, I want to say, hallucination. It's a beach around him, some woman. It's a woman that's around him. And I seen the woman actually doing this over his phallus. And he was like in some type of sleep hallucination. So watch out for that. You was in the room too. So I don't know if this is just something that you just seeing or what, but it's a woman that's playing over his phallus. He up under the shit, but that's not nobody fault but he is, right? Because that's where he chose to be. Remember, you were not his compatible. Anything else? Oh, an energy of transitioning, an energy of change. And I believe I already told y'all about those dreams that I had 3-4 days ago about the waters. And if I didn't really get in depth with it, it was, I guess you can say, a mountain. And the mountain had like an opening that people can go inside. So people are running up under the rock, and the water is rising very big. The water was pissed off, very angry. The people was afraid, trying to run from the wrath. That's exactly what I heard. The wrath. Yeah. And yeah, I already said about the distractions, and basically keep your eyes on the prize. Energy of not pulling teeth from a lion, or in better words, kind of like going with the flow. If it seems too hard, it is not for you, and the Most High will definitely handle it. Energy of being watched constantly. I think that's all. Okay. Love and guidance. Y'all have a prosperous day. And like I said, if it's anything that y'all could assist I with, I definitely accept. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I was hearing something else, but okay. Love and guidance. Have a prosperous day. Deuce, deuce. Kiss, kiss. Talk to you soon.